That's nice.
Enough about your online crush. Let's get started.
My online crush is actually doing pretty well right now. She just got booked for like 3 different real big companies.
Which one is that?
Renee something or other. She's a gamer on Twitch, but now she's a porn star, so it's fun. She gets my time.
Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Superhero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what? I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people. Right. You want people to care. You want to strike emotions. And I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one
quarter pounder with cheese and France, Mickey? What? Royale with cheese, Mickey? Yeah. I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice that my progeny to you, almighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success? Hey, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And John.
And I'm Random Randy Savage.
That's right, boys and girls. JD is not with us again this week. He had a last-minute emergency that he had to take care of.
His dog is really sick. Send your best wishes.
Yes, that's all we got. Something's up with the dog. He had to go to the vet. Hopefully we'll get more information later. But
and hopefully his dog is okay.
You guys can't see it right now, but Dave and John are both visibly crying because white people love their dogs. Visibly crying.
Hey, a hurt pet is no joke, man.
I'm not saying anything else.
That is one of my favorite through jokes on Colt 45.
I love having through jokes. Like, just have old things that we just throw in there every once in a while. Honestly.
White people and dogs.
White people and dogs. Like, I even said it on TikTok once. I was like, oh man, I'm really suffering from white lady face blindness. And the guy was like, that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, well, I'm a white guy with 2 cats, so
that's fair.
Does that equal a dog? I don't understand what the math is.
You know how many cats would equal a dog? Like a truckload. Truckload. I would sacrifice if a truck filled with cats was driving down the road and about to hit a golden retriever, I would Hulk smash the truck out of the way. I would Namor the truck out of the way.
Spoken as someone who has never had a cat.
I had a cat. I don't like cats anymore. Never again. It's a very private and personal story about this cat. And then we got rid of it, and then I'll move on if anyone else wants to move on. Otherwise, I'll just
all right. We don't need to talk about the cat that clawed your balls.
Did I tell the story already? Because that's the story. I'll tell it again. That's what happened. I had a cat. My ex had a cat, a little black cat. It was the cutest little cat, everything. And I'm trying to have some personal time, by myself. I was by myself, so I had the big TV. It was just one of my favorite porn stars was on. So it was just me and myself and the cat. And the cat likes to play with things that jiggle. And I'm over there working myself, and down below are my 2 little Easter eggs, just like whacking each other. The cat thought it was playtime. It was not playtime. It was not. That cat hit the doorway on the way out.
Oh my God.
There. That was my personal story. And then I hate
one
cats
of these episodes
from now on.
And now we know. And we're repressing it.
That's the episode title. I hate cats.
Repressing in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, Randy, it's been a little while since you've been on. Besides, I hope your balls are healing nicely.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Oh, okay. How have you been? Like, what's up with you? What's up with Colt 45?
We are taking a couple of weeks just to relax. We did a really big run of just filler episodes, and that's what's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. We just released our Ganja and Hess episode this week. For anyone who listen, if anyone wants to waste like an hour and a half, you can watch Conjure and Hesh. It's fine. No one really has to. It's just
That's funny. Dave never
I
left
was trying. I was trying to promote black-made films, black-centered films, and like this was the Black A24 film, and I was like, okay, because I don't like movies that don't make sense, and this was one of those movies that don't make sense. But the more I watch these, the more I like. This movie sucks. I hate this $1 million production. It doesn't make any sense because this doesn't equate to the comics. And I was like, bro, watch Luther the Geek, watch Ganja and Hesh, watch Blackenstein, and then come back and tell me how bad movies are.
I think I actually saw Blackenstein at one point.
Did you? I would not hold it against you that you just forgot. Well, it's very boring.
Well, no, well, yeah, but I mean, sometimes I watch bad movies to make fun of them, especially when I have one of my brothers over, like, like anything by Uwe Boll, anything by Neil Breen, like, just the really, really, really bad stuff.
Yeah, we need to work on those. Yeah, we need to work on those. But like, no, I'm more excited about next year. Next year, we're going to be doing a lot more, it's going to be filled with a lot more comic books crap. Because it'll be way further along the line that we can now start maybe plugging in Avengers and Captain America, because they've been out for like over 12 years now.
Oh my God. So true.
Right.
Well, 2008, right? That's Iron Man.
Like that. Yeah.
Well,
2006 was the first time Batman Begins and Iron Man both came out the same year.
That's right. Oh my God. I feel old now. Thanks.
It happens when you like time travel like this. You're just like, man, I can't believe it was only 30 years ago. It's like, yeah, I was still alive around 30 years ago.
I guess we're all technically time travelers.
Yeah.
We're just traveling in one direction.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
A long way around.
So.
No, but yeah, that's it. That's me. I'm work this podcasting. I've listened to everyone's take on Wakanda Forever. Dave had the worst. Dave had the worst take, everyone, of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. Yeah. Actually, Dave had the worst. Because Pop Prism doesn't count because they didn't release one yet. But yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Montego had some of the same takes that I did.
I know, but like...
But he gave it more of a pass. I know.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. He was like, nah. Dave was like, nah, it's work. I don't like it. I don't like this at all. So far, though, 75 pages into Defenders Master Collection Volume 1, Namor's not fun. Like, Doctor Strange is more fun. Silver Surfer's more fun. Why do they keep plugging him in with other guys? I'm not seeing it yet, but I'm going to keep going until I finish the 3 books you recommended, and then I'm going to come back.
Oh my God, I didn't think you were actually going to read them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, John? How are you doing? How are you recovering from our Wakanda Forever review?
Well, my therapist says that my ego should make a showing at some point in the next few months. So, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm kind of happy about that.
There you go.
And yeah, I cleaned the house the last 2 days, and then I thought, I'm going to bring out the Christmas lights.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's time.
Started playing Sia's Santa's Coming for Us, have Mariah Carey on tap. I mean,
God.
Get myself in the mood. Really, really need it. This last couple of years has been like, we just need like this Christmas season to come up to, I don't know, just to bring our spirits up.
I mean, if that helps. If it helps, I'm not going to deny someone the Christmas spirit.
It does.
Capital, but whatever.
All hail capitalism.
All hail mighty dollar.
I mean, I'm an atheist, so it's like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like Christmas, yeah.
What are we going to watch? The Christmas story? The Jesus story? No, we're going to watch Doctor Who. That's what we're going to watch.
No. My family's tradition is we get together and we watch Elf.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah. It never gets old for some reason. Not ever.
Will Ferrell's a treasure.
We were out last night. with her twins, and we got back, and as we're walking back to her house from the car, one of the neighbors, you could look in the window and they had the Christmas tree up, and her one son was like, "They have their tree up. It's too early for that."
Yeah, tree is pushing it, man.
Like,
yeah, Mr.
It's
I
like
got my
our
lights out.
economy is so held by how much this fat man takes up real estate in the calendar, and it's like, as soon as 4th of July is over, we're already kind of thinking about Christmas.
Oh my God.
And it's like, why? We have so many things to get to before Christmas.
I think it's so funny too, because like one of the things I don't think people realize that our version of Santa Claus that we all love was created by Coke.
Yeah.
You mean people on Coke, right? That's what you.
No, Coca-Cola. This is not what Santa Claus looked like in traditional sense, though.
There's a bit of, if I understand it correctly, there's a bit of Germanic mythology in there too about that contributed very much to how we looks.
So you're excited to have the week off? You going anywhere for Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna go to my sister's house.
Oh,
basically my sister uses me as a diversion for the 3 nephews. Like she'll be trying to get something done. I'll walk in and it's like, "There's your crazy uncle." And all the kids are like, "Get him!" And basically,
punch him in the stomach.
What's that movie? One Crazy Summer, where all the kids are out there and it's like, "Save him!" And all the kids run after the guy and turn him into a mubby. Things only I know. But yeah, they I distract them to give her a chance to cook the turkey dinner and all that. But yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm looking up One Crazy Summer.
It's really good. John Cusack. He did a couple of movies like there was One Crazy Summer, and
I was like, I was just like, I was like, that's a movie I've never heard of. One Crazy Summer.
That is a movie. You want to make.
And I understand why, is because I was a zygote when it came out, so that makes sense.
Do a reaction video on YouTube and make some money. It's a fun movie to watch.
There's a big chunk in the middle of this year that nothing goes on, so we'll throw something in there. Like we did Office Space and Tropic Thunder in that chunk, and are like, what does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Everyone loves these movies.
Good choices though.
Yeah, there was probably our biggest hits.
Nice.
Just like, yeah.
I get that.
Hey Dave, how have you been?
Yeah, what are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing all right. At being a heavier man, I sleep with a CPAP.
Okay.
And my CPAP broke at the beginning of the week. And I was able to get it. I was able to get a replacement, but it took like a week to get here. So Friday night was the first night I slept.
Oof.
Like a week, It's weird. Like it's one of those things, you get diagnosed with sleep apnea and they give it to you and you're like, how am I going to be able to sleep with this thing on my face?
All right.
And that was 6 years ago. And now it's like, I can't sleep without this thing on my face. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
If it breaks again, go find a xenomorph. They'll sleep on your face.
Oh my God. We'll get into that.
This is why you need like sound plugs, like on our show, just like bum, bum, yeah.
You need a rim shot, right? Yeah.
That's exactly where I would throw it, right there. Just like
we would break the rim shot button because we're trying to guide people where to laugh, and
No, you just add more different variations of it. Like you're like, groan.
For me, it wouldn't be the rim shot. It would be the old dun 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 dun.
Yep, I use that one all the time.
I can't remember the name of the podcast. I think it was 3 is Comedy. They're not around anymore, and they would do like rim shots, but they would have like these crazy rim shots they would throw in. Well, they would they would do a section where they did like dad jokes, and after each one they would play this rim shot. But like there was one where it was like going around the entire drum set like 20 times. Yeah, that was part of the joke. So yeah.
I like that. Just keep going, keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's been a slow week. I'm glad I can sleep again, and
good for you. Yeah,
I have off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. I don't have off the whole week. Not as special as some people. I'm sure you have to work, Randy.
I actually, because of the nature of my job, most people take off this week, so they don't pay people to put up screens or set meetings or anything during this week anyway. So yeah, I had to put in hours to make sure I could like eat this week. So technically I'm off, but I didn't want to be.
You gotta eat.
I gotta eat.
They
They're
don't
like,
understand that.
Here's 12 hours. And I was like, I have like a week's worth of vacation. Can I just use half of that? And then like, yeah, exactly. Do that. All right, then I'll do that.
How about you have any big Thanksgiving plans?
I'm gonna go see my dad. Yeah, he's had a rough year, and I feel like I should ruin it some more by showing up for Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Oh,
Well, that took a turn. Okay.
No, just no. Me and my dad we've finally gotten to the age where it's like I'm not mad at him anymore, but I don't really want to be his friend.
Oh my.
So it's like, we're like, he's like an acquaintance. Like if someone needed an air ride to airport or something like that, like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. I'll out of the kindness of my own heart.
Dude, that was my relationship with my father as soon as I like hit air. I mean, like as soon as I was born.
I don't think that's healthy. I think you're like I don't want that from my kid.
No, it's totally not healthy, but like, you know, some people.
I want my kid to come to me when he has issues and problems. Not like me, where I was like, if I had issues and problems, I'd go to the internet, and then this is how I show up.
No, for me, if I want issues and problems, I go to my father.
Yeah.
Not if I don't want them, I stay as far away from him as possible.
Nah.
I had a great relationship with my father. Sorry.
Oh, good for you.
Look at you, all mentally healthy.
God, I got a sexy girlfriend. My dad and I have a healthy relationship. I sleep like a baby 18 hours a day. I have no problems. Me and my 14-inch penis just love life.
Well, I mean, my father's been gone for 12 years, so you know.
Come on.
So your relationship is through a medium, huh? Your medium has the relationship.
You at least need to like tell me this before I start just like, well, okay, great. Because I thought like you guys went to like cabins and stuff or like did white people things. I don't know what you guys like.
People things?
What, you like go to the yacht club or whatever? I don't know.
Here, I got it for you. Dun 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 dun. Wow.
There you go.
White people things.
Well, yeah, like
that
you
might
have
be a better name
brunch,
for the episode.
Right? Play golf together. Go fishing together.
Oh yeah, go fishing
with your pinky up always.
No, see that doesn't count because me and my dad went fishing like no more than 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago, 4 months ago.
See,
so it doesn't count as white people.
That's a universal thing.
It's a universal thing. I hated it. He asked me to go fishing for his birthday, and I was like, "Of course I'll go fishing for you." It's like I'm not gonna like it. I'm there. I was like, yeah. Let's go out in the wilderness and just like throw rods in this and catch nothing. Except feelings.
Oh,
that's it.
Well, speaking of things that people don't like,
there it is.
Why don't we do a little social media madness?
Oh, good. I'm the only one who appreciates this. It's fine. Because it's mostly me anyway. And Ray, 8-Bit Ray, and that guy who does the sour grapes.
Actually, the first one here is you.
Yep.
Of course, we talked about the passing of Kevin Conroy, to which Randy replied, I asked what everyone's favorite moment from Kevin Conroy was, and you replied, when he showed in Crisis is top tier, but my favorite is the skit that he did with Tim Daly. Yeah, I do love that one, the Batman v Superman one. That is hilarious.
I mean, I do like, because it wasn't outside the realm, and that whole him just doing that Tim Daly series of YouTube videos was just funny. Because I remember there was the one where he was flying with Nathan Fillion. He's like, turn left. There's just a bunch of dorks just being dorks.
Yes, it reminded me of something that like I would think to do with my friends, but we're not famous, so we couldn't like.
Yeah,
put it on the internet and get people to watch it.
That's what it was. It was like people recognize us, but if we're just fighting, like, yeah. I've done scenes with my friends like from Fight Club, but we're not famous. We're not Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, but
yes,
you can still find it on YouTube somewhere. No, he's actually way more talented than I am. Video wise, he wasn't an actor.
Yeah. Justin Taylor retweeted us and said, "So good of a show, and he was a great Batman."
Yeah.
Definitely. And
Absolutely.
then we, of course, included our final interview that we ever did with Kevin Conroy at the end of the episode. And Marky Mark from So Wizard said, fantastic interview. Thanks for that shout out, Mark. We appreciate it. You know, John, I know you don't listen to the show.
Not even while we're taping it.
And I'm sure you don't remember, but as I was editing, of course, I'm re-listening to the interview. And of course, we always end our interviews with the same question: how do you measure success? And he basically said, by leaving this world a better place than you found it. And I just started crying.
He's because
Didn't he he talked about that lady who like you saved me. You saved me from that abusive childhood.
Yes.
You were the safe place in you were in my safe zone in my house. And I was like, jeez, bro. And he was like, he was overwhelmed how impactful his voice could be to create such an emotion in somebody out in, just out in the world like that. Oh,
I remembered the interview, and I remember like having feelings about it when we walked away. Like, this was so great. And it's like listening it to again. And it's like, we got 10 minutes of his time, and he gave us such an impactful interview. It was like amazing.
Yeah. He will be missed.
Definitely. So, all right, moving on. We reviewed a little movie last week, guys. Wakanda Forever.
Wait, one of the most popular movies in the month of November? What? Ever?
Yes.
Popularity does not mean it's good.
Okay.
By the way, I just want to say we're getting these. We're posting this stuff and getting answers on Twitter. In another couple of weeks, we might not have that anymore.
Nah, I don't see that happening.
That's fair.
So,
yeah, if you knew what was going on behind the scenes there, like I do, it's on autopilot right now. Nope, some of the subsystems already failed.
It'll be around. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I already archived my data because I was told that it wasn't going to be there tomorrow. So it's like, all right. I mean,
two-factor auth is already broken. The subsystem that
this is
handles
this is not an tech
I know
podcast.
Yeah, but it's still
about
part of social media, right? And it's like, yeah, social media. You guys that post on Twitter won't exist anymore. It's gone.
The whole
Facebook now, TikTok.
This whole section is called Social Media Madness. That is social media, and madness is going on there.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And then I have even more of a weird, I was thinking about it. It was a conspiracy theory that he did this so that he could reinstate a former
Trump.
President, and then with that generosity be put on some kind of cabinet position. And I was like, that's almost dangerously close to probably being true. Like, it would make sense. How much money would you spend for a cabinet position? $44 billion?
Yeah, exactly. Like some people,
that is a crazy conspiracy theory. The actual theory that I've heard, and I kind of feel this is the truth. He took it private, so he didn't have to answer to shareholders. He's going to strip all the fat, make it profitable again, make it public again, and then sell it. And then he'll make a mint off of it.
Yeah, there's going to be a problem with all the steps between buying it and selling it. Like right now, like the copyright strike system is down. The entire team, the whole team that managed the copyright strike system.
Well, that's also
left.
There are
people. There are people that are posting entire movies now, and they're not getting copyright strikes.
I think he exposed an issue, though. Like,
They do have a tendency to do that.
That it was working.
On YouTube, all of that stuff is automated.
Money though, so
all the copyright stuff is automated. There's not somebody going around watching the channels.
But it's automated there. You just need human beings to review it, or else you get stuff like on YouTube where you get somebody showing their.
But that's all they got to do is use the same algorithm as YouTube.
8-year-old kid dancing to a tune in the background, and they get copyright struck because the tune is in the background.
Copyright struck all the time for including different audio clips on this show.
I know,
when we
that's
post to
stupid.
YouTube.
That's why you need humans to review it.
I don't think
automation is.
I'm not as good as Chris was last week, trying to break you two up in all this nonsense. But
all right, back to Black Panther.
But yes,
Screen Breakdown said, as a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, it was great. The plot was predictable. Wasn't a fan of the changes to Namor. Okay. While I did enjoy it overall, I wonder what it would have been like if Chadwick had not passed away.
Everybody wonders that, though.
I mean, obviously, it's a totally
Right.
different movie.
You got it, yeah, but you got it,
Like-
and one that was already written.
I'd
you
also
know?
want to go back to the point of like, yeah, it's exact. I've already saw this plot coming a mile away, and I was like,
Who
did you
saw,
though?
really?
Did
Yeah.
you though? I don't believe.
Nobody knew. Nobody knew what was
So
coming.
like just something you're saying. 'Cause
They-
you think it's
They knew Namor was in there, but they didn't know how many.
It's like, yeah, we all knew like, okay, Namor's gonna flood Wakanda. That's a thing that might happen for sure.
Right.
Which leads to some kind of conflict between him to two kings, even if Chadwick Boseman didn't die. All right, fine. So what would lead to some kind of conflict? Well, something valuable to both of them. Vibranium. Oh wow. So okay. Like, I know this thing kind of just like has to happen. Because like other than like, what does Namor really care about? I guess the environment. Or maybe if like instead of the machine that locates vibranium, it's a machine that controls the weather or pollutes the oceans or
Just-
something like
I mean,
that.
him just being mad at the pollution, I think, is
Yeah,
a-
but then like go after the like why go after the companies then like Shell and all that other stuff, but they can't do that. Disney's
but-
not going to
but
push that button just yet.
They've made one of his driving focuses right now is staying anonymous, right? I mean,
Right.
that was a big point in the movie. So like maybe in the future we'll see him just give up on it, or maybe he'll get outed because Val is coming after him, right?
Right.
Lady.
Or there'll be a conflict so big that it requires somebody so strong, and which Kang is coming. So
Or well, yeah, or like with Kang coming, a conflict that he can't stay out of because it also encompasses him. Like he
yeah,
won't.
because he already saw the Avengers. Like, well, like they got it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just New York, and it's just one city. It's
Yeah.
fine. And it's like, oh, everyone gets dusted. Like that happened so fast that not really anyone could like, oh, let's round up. Like, oh, we're all back again. Come on, let's go
Well,
beat up Thanos.
hey, half of his people were probably killed in the snap as well, and
Yeah.
and the Avengers brought back. So, you know, if his honor system is the way they presented it, he owes the Avengers a favor.
That makes sense.
So, Randy,
Yes.
glad you're here.
Go ahead.
We can address this comment.
Oh yeah.
Randy's reply was, I can't help but notice that Dave's take from Wakanda Forever was that when faced with sad times, women should smile and joke more. And that his favorite part of the movie is when the girls are talking about hair and makeup. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go drink the rest of my bourbon.
All right, fine.
You guys,
You know
have a
that
good
wasn't
time.
my point.
No.
You know my point was.
I know, but I was also making a joke. But
exactly.
I just
But then,
like-
as I said on Twitter, you made me look like a sexist asshole.
I didn't make you say those lines because that's what you said. That's what you said.
But you're twisting it.
You were like, what?
You're leaving out important
Shiri's turn
context.
was so strange to me. She's not like she normally is when she's smiling and joking around. And I was like, so her brother dies, her country gets invaded. It's like there's a conflict. You want her to crack jokes? Okay. You want her to smile more when she's being harassed by some
think
kind
I
of
said
fish
that-
man? All right.
That was kind of my point too. I mean, you know,
I
she's
think I actually
going
said
through
that
like
And then
huge
literally you're
emotional
like
change.
one of my favorite parts of the movie is when they're all just hanging out and I'm telling jokes and at the MIT scene and they talk about each other's hair and makeup. And I was like, I really enjoyed that. I didn't make you say these things, but that's what you said. And I was like, he just likes it when women stay in their place.
No, my point with that scene was that was more like the Shuri from the original movies, which I kind of feel like that
I
scene
get
was,
it.
was
Yeah.
written that way in the original script before Chadwick passed away and they changed it around.
But yeah, but after hearing everyone's take about Wakanda Forever, I still go back to my original point that Phase 4 is about grief and loss. And now,
Yeah.
as you no doubt have pointed out, Shuri from Black Panther until now has changed dramatically. She lost half of her people in Infinity War. I don't know if she was dusted or not. We don't ever find that out.
They've never been clear on that. I thought
Right.
someone said they officially did say she was, but
Yeah,
don't know.
I feel like they would at least include her in the mechanics of building a time machine if we were
right.
if we were trying to get everyone back. So maybe she was dusted. So she lost 5 years of her life and things changed. And then like her world comes back. And then immediately afterwards, her brother dies. And it's like, that's a lot of change to be happening.
And then somebody invades Wakanda for the first time in centuries, and then her mother gets killed by the god.
It's a lot of
It's
change that is
like-
happening. And it's like,
Yeah.
I get not wanting to be joyful. I'm not saying that you can't process grief in your own way. I'm not saying that your timeline is different from anyone else's timeline or the same as anyone else's timeline. But the movie that I saw reflected how someone goes through grief. They rebel against it. They get angry about it. They get sad and emotional. They try to reason with it with logic and like, maybe if I did this and if I just gave this much time and if I changed my own, like if I took the herb in myself, I could maybe make things right. And she finally gets to the point at the end of the movie where it's like, he's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. I loved him. He's gone now.
Yeah.
And I can move on. Like, I get the movie. I like the movie. I can understand how people didn't like the movie because you guys came in wanting, whoa, Namor and Black Panther, explosion. Oh, let's whip dicks and we'll thrust at white women. I'm Mr. Namor. Oh.
Just to describe, he's acting like he's taking two action figures and smashing them together. Yes,
thank you.
Which yes, you are correct. That is what most people.
That's what people expect from a Marvel movie, especially the guys on like those YouTube videos. They want just your action figures bashing each other and it's like that's how my brother watches movies. He doesn't like movies that have to make you contemplate things, and it upsets him. It's like I don't like this.
Yeah,
too much thinking, too much talking, more killing.
Yeah, you don't get over grief by having a war.
I mean, maybe you do. Sometimes you do. I'm not gonna
very true. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go over anyone else's process of grief. But I feel like the MCU has been doing this thing. Wanda doesn't deal with grief well. We've seen
that's true. Yeah, there you go.
Moon Knight doesn't deal with grief well either. His whole brain splits in half.
Yep.
Shang-Chi runs away from his own grief, from the loss of his mother and the responsibilities that is thrusted upon him from his father. And it's like, Spider-Man, how does he survive when Aunt May dies? He leans on his friends. They're gone too.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like, the whole part of this is about how does Loki deal with losing everything all at once and realizing that nothing really matters because he's not even supposed to be there. And it's every Marvel thing has some kind of loss in it, from the beginning of WandaVision to the end right now to this last movie we've just seen has some, and I know that somebody's going to die in Ant-Man.
So
yeah,
I think you're right. I mean, She-Hulk doesn't fit into that.
Not yet, but she did lose privacy. She lost, and it's about controlling emotion. All the episodes are about how you need to control yourself. You need to make sure you're in this box. And it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm a woman. I deal with this nonsense every single day.
Right.
Until someone throws it to a, infinite amount. And now I'm not fine. And now I'm treated like a criminal. And now you throw a person in color in jail because they smash a couple tables, whatever. always calling the police on the black and green people.
Okay. How about Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel had to deal with, so Karan deals with the loss of his mother, and then there was the whole conflict between the apartheid, or not the apartheid, the partition that separated that entire family in the beginning, and that when she goes back in time to deal with that, and she becomes the reason why her family survives.
True.
Because it was literally a family. The clandestines were a family that came into this dimension and then was separated.
I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldiers are dealing with the loss of
Captain America,
and that's a really good take, man. I mean, you're right. Everything.
Hawkeye, Natasha.
Yeah, he's dealing with
Natasha, and then Natasha's the big problem with that, and then Kate Bishop losing the loss of innocence. Hawkeye's not a good guy. He's not a hero, but he can be. He could be a hero to me because I see him as a hero, but he doesn't see himself as a hero.
Right.
He hates it. He hates that people think that he's noble, that he's worthy of something, and he doesn't feel that way.
I see that. I love that take on him because it was like I have so many friends that are veterans and have come back from Iraq and the Middle East and whatnot, and people are like, "Oh, thank you for," and they're just like, "No, I was doing a job, and
I got paid to kill people. I'm not a good
things
guy."
I had to do, and it's just like, so
I get that, and it's like, "Thank you for your service," and I was like, "Whatever, bro," and that's all they can do is because. Right. It's a job to them. If somebody, whenever they thank me, whenever I get done with my gig, and I'm like, whatever. I did like this. I didn't do very much, but appreciate it. You paid a whole lot of money for it, and hope I did well.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. And finally, our good friend Timothy Jones. So this is a repeat comment from last week, but it's a new tweet. I thought it was as well done and a great movie, but not better than the first one, but damn close.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then he said, movie-going experience. I thought he said this last week. Just short of me diving over the sea and grabbing the obnoxious, noisy bag of candy from the obnoxious moron behind me and devouring all of it and giving it back to him saying, here's $10. Next time, pour it in your effing lap.
Man.
Wow. Okay, this is a little more
spirit animal.
A little more animated than his comment from last week.
Shut your mouth.
Sometimes comedy is in your face.
I know, right?
Wow. Sour grapes, ladies and gentlemen, available in finer newspapers all across the country. He's he's not like that in the strip.
No,
forget sour. This time it was rancid.
That was some grapes. He had some big old grapes on that one.
Grapes of wrath. The grapes of wrath this time.
He's gonna put them in your face if you don't shut the fuck
up. All right, and then finally, our good friend Drew C was tweeting, obviously while listening. First, he says, "Welcome, Chris." So yes, welcome, Chris. You did a great job filling in last week. He says, my first comic was a Spider-Man origin with cassette. Wow.
Dude.
It was called My Science Project and was told from Peter as a clinical scientific look at him getting his powers. The book has lost its cover and its tatters, but I still have it. I was interested in the new Pirates movie. I'd heard rumors that Karen Gillan was going to play the red-headed bride.
Okay.
Overall, no big loss. I'm indefinite to Margot. So, and then finally,
different
Tostito Snap.
Different, yeah.
Tostito Snap. Oh my God, awesome interview at the end of the episode. Oh, I should have included that in the other section. Yeah. So, what was your first comic, Randy? Do you remember?
There was I think it can't be that one. It might have been Predator versus Justice League.
Oh my God.
Cool. I didn't
like that is an odd first comic.
Because it was like because I didn't get into comics like as a kid. I saw them, but I don't know, they just I had trouble reading regular books. So my mom was really good at like, you need to read books. Like if I brought a comic in, she'd probably think it wasn't good enough. But as I got older, I started reading more comics. And then like, especially when I started watching The Flash, I started reading a lot more comics. And I was like,
okay.
Like later in life, I started reading comics because I was depressed and going through the loss of my marriage. And I was just like, I need something to fill this void right here. So comics.
It's better than drugs.
I mean, they're about the same price.
That's pretty sad but true.
Yeah. Wow. But, now I got a huge comic collection. I haven't gone through any of it. Miss Marvel I've read, and She-Hulk I've read, and upcoming trying to like piece together the universe things. I was like, oh, Young Justice is definitely coming because they got this, and this, and now like with the MCU, I keep pointing myself towards like Marvel comics, where I was a huge DC fan in the beginning because I was like Flash and Batman and Superman. Why don't they ever do these storylines for Superman? And I was like, no. And like, what was it? The guy who started writing with the animated series. His name is Paul Dippy. Is that wrong? I don't know. But he introduced Harley Quinn. Like he was like the guy who credited for not casting, Aaron Sorkin's wife or whatever, but like actually writing the comic or writing Paul Dini. That's Paul Dini.
Yep.
Paul Dini was like one of the first authors. I was like, oh yeah, because I read comics for stories. I don't mind covers. I don't like draw artists. I read them for the stories.
Yeah.
So
he's the one who did Harley and Ivy too.
Yeah, he loves it.
Which started a whole Harley Ivy thing that fans seem to really love. So.
And like he did a whole run as Zatanna, and I was like, this should be a movie, bro, right here. And then like I found out Greg Rucka had written a Batman book about like, and then the man he wrote No Man's Land, and then he wrote a book about Batman, and then I started reading about Alan Moore's run, and then Grant Morrison. R.I.P. Batman. I was a big Batman guy for a while then. So I was like,
yeah, that was a good story too.
I like it.
All right. That does it for Social Media Madness this week. I can see the happiness in John's eyes already.
Oh,
That's
until next week.
And on that note, if you would like to follow us on social media and be part of Social Media Madness, here's our good friend D Squared to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Want to be part of Social Media Madness? Make sure you are following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the show's social media links at the top of the page. While you're there, you can check out old episodes of the podcast as well as some other great content. Check the site often, because we are posting some great comic reviews as well as comic book and movie news content every day. Make sure and follow us on Twitter at SuperheroSpeak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. You can follow them at stars_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prison Power Podcast, Cult 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for hashtag GWAllstars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
Thanks for that, Don. Don't forget to check out the Omega Level Nerds podcast. It's still available on YouTube, wherever podcasts are available. And on that note, we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the news.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, we are back. So this broke today, and I want to talk about it a little bit. The well-known, longest-running character from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, played by Jason David Frank, passed away today from an apparent suicide. And I feel like this is more your generation, Randy. Like, you really grew up in the Power Rangers theme or madness. You know, before we get into some of the crap I saw online, my only story I do have a Jason David Frank story is that my son also was a huge Power Rangers fan. I mean, he's younger, so he got into it later. But I think it was Dino Thunder is one of the ones where he came back.
Yep.
He's been back quite a few times.
Yeah, but he was like the Black Ranger in that one. And and then that made my son go back and watch some of the other ones that he was in. So I was at New York Comic Con and I was working the convention, and that's the only autograph he asked me for. And he was little. It was the first time he asked me to get one. And I happened to be working in the autograph area. I don't remember who I was working for, but I was working someone's table, helping them, collect money basically.
Right.
And after they were done, he still had a huge line going all the way back. And I'm like, shoot, I wanted to get the autograph. It was, I think, Saturday. So you're not always sure if they're going to be there the next day or whatnot. I'm just he was talking to a fan. So I politely asked the handler, is he going to be here tomorrow? Because my son asked for his autograph, and, I got to get to my next station, and I don't have time to wait in this line. So maybe I can come early tomorrow. He overhears me saying this to her, and he's like, come here. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you've been working hard all day. You deserve this. He's like, what's your son's name? He signed the thing, and he's like, here you go. He didn't even charge me.
Yeah.
He was such a nice guy. He took time with all his fans. Definitely beloved by the fans. It was just such a shock.
He was going through a divorce, as of August.
That's what it sounds. That's what I heard. Or through the rumor mill, I heard that. I'm just like, oh yeah, Batman the Animated Series and Power Rangers. I made a joke because that's how I deal with sadness. Is it's like this month is trying to kill everyone on the Fox Kids Net lineup, and that's what I grew up on. Was Fox Kids was Power Rangers and Batman back to back. One at 4:30, the other one at 5:00. And no, it's just, you're right. He was the guy all the way until we got into space. And then the whole company's changed and everything kind of moves around. And then they moved to New Zealand. They do all the shooting there now. And it's and then eventually, just as a gimmick, they bring him back as he's the new Zordon. And he runs that whole thing for another 2 seasons. And then the Red Ranger, like, special, and they bring all the Red Rangers back. And like most of my Power Ranger knowledge comes from the history of Power Rangers on YouTube. And like, if you want to waste 26 to 36 hours of just hearing trivia and just someone trying to make jokes while they're watching old Power Ranger episodes, you could do worse. And no, Brandon got to interview him.
Oh, wow.
And what was sad about it it's sad now. It was sad then, and it's just sadder now. That was going to be mine, but I had to work.
Oh.
I wrote all the questions I was going to ask him.
Right.
And Brandon read them all, and they had the interview, and it was a great episode. And they talked about favorite times and all that stuff. And I don't know, it seems like suicide is just like it's.
He was going through a tough time, but
yeah,
like
it's
you said,
rough.
He was kind of beloved. I just can't understand why he didn't have.
I feel like the guys who give and give and give, and they don't have anyone to like give it back.
You don't know what's going on in someone's life. I mean,
right.
and going on in their head. Look at Robin Williams.
Right? I don't know. Just like it sucks, and it ain't great. And he was like, they're trying to bring it back. Like Bat in the Sun was working on with and a bunch of other film companies to try and bring back Power Rangers from the comics so that Lord Darkon could show up. And Lord Darkon is Tommy. There's no other way around it. So you need Jason David Frank to pull that off. And like, so he was going to be the big bad in their universe. And it's just like, it just sucks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you want to listen to that interview, you can go to Cult 45 Podcast on Google Play and Apple Podcasts. I use humor to mask sadness.
Did you ever watch Power Rangers, John?
Oh yeah, no, I saw it when it first came out. I followed it for a couple of seasons, and then it got, a little repetitive. And
we went to the attempt of the reboot in the theater. One of the only premieres as a podcast we ever got invited to was the Power Rangers. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Wonder Woman we were at.
Yes,
too,
there were the two of them, Wonder Woman and Power Rangers.
And the reboot was.
I mean, I don't know. Just after Pacific Rim, and it's like they're all the robot doesn't seem as impressive anymore.
Pacific Rim was cool.
Yeah,
because it didn't have a 20-minute interlude in Krispy Kreme.
That's what it was, and it's like but Pacific Rim ran because Power Rangers walked.
So
yeah. The monsters from the other realm didn't stop at Krispy Kreme to eat lunch. True. I mean,
but it was so weird how the story broke.
A lot of people didn't believe it at first.
Well, because the only site that had anything on it was a site called Geek Ireland, which I had never heard of.
Yeah.
But like it popped up on this website, and then like all these people on social media started posting, rest in peace and pictures of them, and it was like, huh? But I'm like looking for some other news source to confirm it, because let's be honest, we live in a world where we got this covered exists.
Yeah.
Clickbait articles to generate. I mean, was it Jimmy Fallon? There's the hashtag rest in peace Jimmy Fallon that was trending, and he's like begging Twitter to take it down because like
I'm alive.
He didn't die,
I'm
but there were people,
right here.
But people believed he died. So it's like, that's the whole thing. It's like, I want to know, I want to see confirmation.
You want to hear something crazy about that? A lot of the people that I saw posting on Facebook, they're like, I don't believe this. And this blows my mind. I'm not going to believe this until I see it on TMZ.
TMZ is usually the outlet that posts celebrity deaths first. I've always noticed that.
Or the ones that authenticate it, saying this happened, which is really, because
and that's how I authenticated it. When I saw it pop up on TMZ, I'm like, okay, it's real. But here's the thing that got me was like, people were saying like, I don't know if this is real. I don't see a lot of like news outlets covering it, and there were people responding to them going like, oh, what news outlets are going to cover it? It's not like he was a real star or anything. And I'm like, ouch. Exactly.
No, jeez.
Like someone saying someone who's a hero to them, or
we all saw like Gallagher died, and at least some people covered it. Like
exactly, Gallagher has not been a thing since I think the 90s, and it's like, but he got covered by all the outlets,
right?
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, that was like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
But it's like, how can people be that mean? I know it's the internet, but seriously, how can you be that mean to someone who is a fan of someone? You know?
Yeah, well, Amy Jo Johnson, she published something. She said, "Jace, you are beautiful and truly unique. My life just won't be the same without your frenetic, hilarious, caring, driven, and creative ball of energy. I will always love you, dear friend. Please rest in peace." So, like, and you're right, Dave. It's like, and that's, I think it's kind of a problem with geek culture, is like a lot of people who aren't into the geek culture, they look down on us.
Yeah.
And so when one of our icons, passes, people are like, well, why did you care about them anyway? They're just like from Power Rangers, or they just voice things on cartoons. It's like, yeah, but the joy that these people bring, you have no idea.
I'm surprised like the MMA community is not still, because they get up on their arms too. Like he was an actual fighter. He was an actual, a real martial artist.
He was an 8th level black belt, which is like, he was 2 down from like the top, which I don't know. There's like the number of people that have level 10 is like count on one hand or something.
Probably. He was
so he was real. He was one of the only ones that was actually a martial artist on that.
That's so true.
Yep. So yeah, as I saw posted a lot today. I mean, I know he's not Chadwick Boseman, but a lot of people were saying "rest in power," which I feel is a play on Power Rangers. So
yeah, we'll allow it, I guess.
I mean, I'll allow it.
Yes. Well, if Randy allows it, then it's okay.
Yeah, if I allow it, it's fine. I already made a phone call to the black community. They said it was fine.
And like
everyone loved the Green Power Ranger in the black community.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
just to say, like, we should have a watch out for Austin St. John, because he was arrested for COVID fraud in, was it June or May? So like, I don't know if that first batch was, well, I mean, there've been so many people that play Power Rangers at this point, I guess we can expect, but that first batch, like Amy Jo Johnson's doing okay, but Trini died in 1990 in a car accident.
Right.
And
Walter Jones is doing okay. He's doing stuff.
Yeah. So, but
I mean, last I saw him on a pool playing pool with me while I was dressed as Tuxedo Mask in 2010. He was fine.
3 out of 6.
He was one of the first that posted about Jason David Frank too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
yeah.
All right. Moving on. Randy, you're the movie guy, right?
I try to be. Go ahead.
Okay. Have you heard of a directing team called Radio Silence?
Radio Silence. No, never heard of those guys. Sounds fun.
Well, apparently this team has been tapped to direct. Radio Silence is made up. Okay, here we go. Radio Silence is made up of the filmmaking team Matt Bettenley, Oakland, and Tyler Gillette. Okay, and Chad Villa. Okay, they will be directing the reboot of Escape from New York, the John Carpenter film starring, of course, everyone's favorite actor. Oh my God, why can't I think of his name?
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell, thank you.
There you go.
As Snake Plissken. So, all right. I know you guys have done Escape from New York on your show. You had to have. I mean, that's one of the... Oh my God, have you never done Escape from New York?
No, we did. We did the one Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing. Those are the only Kurt Russell movies I can think of. But
all right, I'm changing my Patreon pick to Escape from New York. Can I do that?
You can do that.
But you haven't done my Patreon pick yet?
I didn't say we weren't gonna do it in a couple. We have our Patreon month coming up all next month.
I'm switching it to a different Kurt Russell movie.
Fair enough. Escape from New York. I watched that. Yeah, let's do that.
He was in Stargate, Tombstone. Stargate's a good one.
Yeah, Stargate was my.
That was his original one,
and they've been
back.
You were like, yeah.
Tango and Cash.
I was like, how about this one? No, not that one. We're gonna do Idle Hands before we do Stargate.
Hey.
Anyway,
Stargate.
Yeah, how it's obviously on a lottery.
So you've never seen Escape from New York?
I have not seen Escape from New York, no. But I know the premise, so
I don't think I've watched it either. I mean, I think I've got pictures of. I might
I feel
have
like it's like
seen it on
I feel like it's a
TV
classic
times.
premise now too. It's like Taken, except for it's not.
Well, it's an 80s sci-fi movie where the premise is New York itself has become a penal colony. Like,
Okay.
they just basically build a wall around Manhattan and say, okay, we're putting all our prisoners in there.
Yeah.
The president is in a plane that crashes into New York,
That's yeah.
and they send Snake in to get him out.
That's like the plot for Resident Evil 2.
There you go. So,
You know, it's Raccoon City. It's like, yeah.
it is definitely a like sci-fi dystopian future movie.
I'm also like 60% sure it's also a side mission in Batman Arkham City. Like literally, you have to save somebody who like crashed a plane. Like, yes, it was the reporter guy.
Yes.
The reporter guy. You got to go save
Yes,
him
it is a
because
side mission.
it's a side mission in Batman and Arkham City.
And Arkham City is basically what New York is in Escape from New York. All right, so
now I'm definitely gonna watch it. Yeah,
I'm gonna say, so you guys don't have a take on like should they remake this movie? I mean, it is considered a cult classic. It really is.
Why not? Like, I don't have a problem with remakes as long like I've seen the original Ocean's 11 and I've seen the remake of Ocean's 11, and I like the remake because it's more contemporary. It uses more technology. It doesn't burn the money at the end.
Oh my god.
I've seen House on Haunted Hill and the remake for House on Haunted Hill. I like that they're actually ghosts and not just some dickhead. Okay, cool. You know, so sometimes you get a reboot and it's like, all right, let's change it up a bit. If we're gonna do Escape from New York and everything is awful, all right, maybe the president's a hot redheaded blonde chick or whatever.
And if I remember correctly, the movie takes place in like the 90s, I think, or early 2000s. Like it's one of those in the future movies that has
In the
passed.
future, in 1998, when everything is awful. It's like
you mean like the Terminator movies, right?
right.
Yeah, the
Judgment Day
Judgment
is
Day
coming
passed.
in 1996. I was like, pretty sure that's next year.
That was 2016. Actually, they kind of missed it by a little.
So, okay, so here's a question. Like, it's a lot of those movies I think are iconic because of the actors. Like Kurt Russell is Snake Plissken, and so it's like, who do you think is like a younger actor who could do a Kurt Russell or do that kind of character in today's world? Any thoughts, guys?
Zac Efron.
Oh God,
Robert Patterson.
Robert Patterson.
He could
Really?
actually. I think he could do it.
I think Zac Efron can do it. Like he had that whole movie called The Lucky One, and it was like it was a Nicholas Sparks movie, but he was a soldier boy, and he's coming back from Iraq and trying to get not to get in anyone's way. It's like Rambo, but if it was made for Lifetime.
Okay.
See, I could see them making a mistake of like casting Channing Tatum in it, and it's just like, oh.
Nah, he's a comedic actor. He's a funny guy. I mean, like of all the movies I've seen that Channing Tatum works the best in is when he's being funny.
Really?
They're not none of the movies where he's like being like Magic Mike, I guess works, but it's still ironically funny.
So you don't like him as Duke?
No.
No one does.
Duke? What? Where was he?
In the G.I. Joe movies.
Oh, I didn't watch those.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch those movies. Those was garbage. Let's see.
Those were, I think, almost worse than the Transformers movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
First
Shia LaBeouf. Yes, Shia LaBeouf could be the Kurt Russell.
To the first Transformers movie because they were doing something like it's a project of its time. They were doing something different.
No.
It's a bunch of CGI. Like they hadn't done something like that before, but they should have stopped at one.
Should be Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf. Yes.
They'd never
Shia
make
LaBeouf.
it through filming it before he blew something up or did something stupid.
Yeah,
or-
probably like actually blew something up.
Yeah,
I
but
would-
that's
I
I
totally buy
mean,
that.
what's his face? The director. That he blows everything up in his movies.
Oh, Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean it's a Michael Bay film through and through. Like there's no denying that. So
You're right. We haven't done Escape from New York. Yeah. All right.
Zac Efron.
I double checked it. Yeah, because like after Firestarter and then that other, I just saw clips of that one I just mentioned, the Lucky One, and like he's been a solid actor for a long time. High School Musical. They put a whole series on his back, and like
And
people just like,
but
man,
that's
he's
the whole
just
thing,
funny.
like, I mean,
The
that's the thing.
the greatest showsman. I don't know if anyone actually saw that
I
movie.
saw that. I liked it, but again,
Zac Efron, yeah.
but they're the kind of roles I see him in. That and what, Baywatch, and
Yeah, but you don't see Kurt Russell in Overboard with Goldie Hawn or like.
oh, that's true. That's
and then
true.
what was the other one he did? That's another like romantic comedy movie he was in that I can't think of right now.
He was in Swing Shift.
Yeah, like he makes
Tequila
movies.
Sunrise.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Captain Ron was the other weird. Captain
If they remade Tango and Cash, I would be with it too.
Okay.
That's the other. I think that's the only other Kurt Russell movie I know I've seen and I used to love. Like
I think I'll give you,
I
I'll
hate
give
to
you
say it,
Zac
but
Efron.
I don't care about this one at all. I really don't.
Wow.
I know we're not paid to care, but
he's like, whatever. make your movie, make your money. I don't give a shit.
yeah. Yeah.
It's not my money that they're making it with.
I got no
Exactly.
skin in this game for that.
All right. Well, then let's talk about, there's been a lot of rumors. These the next two articles are tied together.
God,
Okay.
There's
so
a
many
lot of
rumors.
murmuring about now that our good friend, oh my God, I am having such brain farts today.
Henry Cavill.
No, not Henry Cavill.
Okay.
The director,
Which one?
the guy who's in charge.
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn.
James Gunn, thank you.
Yeah.
Now that James Gunn and the other guy, Saffron, are in charge,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
like that's how everyone is. It's the other guy.
He's doing animation, I thought, right? So it doesn't even count.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about like what the plans are. Now he has said that James Gunn has come out and said in the next 2 months everything's going to be clear. He's going to release all his plans. But one of the only things we know for sure is they've now put Man of Steel 2 or whatever it's going to be called on hold.
All right.
The guy left the TV show to play Superman. I was told, okay, just wait right there.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we know that there will not be 4 Batmans in the DC.
Okay.
There's going to be 1 Batman going forward.
Well,
I don't know what that means.
when your production schedule and your past movies are that messed up, it's going to take a while to untangle things.
Yeah.
The
I
first
mean,
thing
that
they
tells me right then and there, like Michael Keaton, no, like you don't even expect to see Michael Keaton at this point.
I mean, yeah, I always
He's still
assumed he was
gonna
going
be
to be a cameo, like a thing
In
that
The
we're just going to
Flash.
show up and then be done.
He was going to be in The Flash, and he
Yeah.
was also
and Batgirl.
And Batgirl.
right?
And, then,
And
like,
apparently he was supposed to be in the Aquaman movie because Michael Keaton was like, whatever happens to Flashpoint, Michael Keaton was going to be the Batman. And then, so they reshot his stuff with Ben Affleck because the Aquaman's coming out before that.
God, they still have no idea what they're doing.
no, not at all. Like,
I just
and I would be okay with just making shit. Just make shit. Don't even bother like trying to like because JD brought up a good point the other day, and I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot more sense. And he was saying that continuity is becoming a crutch for the Marvel universe, and then like and an anchor, yeah. And now it's like at first it was a crutch, now it's an anchor. It's really holding them back. And I was thinking, that's totally right. And the DC side of things could just not be that guy, and just like, all right, who's cool, who's hot, what's the best DC story that we can use for this character? I don't care if there's continuity problems. Use whatever character you want. Bring them in, bring them out. I don't give a crap.
just tell good stories.
Just
right?
tell good stories
Right.
and be done with it.
I agree with that, but I also kind of feel like that statement is, let's stop making Batman movies. How
That
many
too.
Batman movies do we need?
I don't know. We're done. I'm done with Batman movies for at least another 5 years. 5 years. Then make me a Terry McGinnis movie.
Yes,
Then make me a Batman Beyond movie. And use Michael Keaton.
and then a Static Shock movie, please.
And then a
finally.
Static Shock movie. Right.
God,
That's it. The rest, and then I want a Zatanna movie. I want the Constantine movie with with what's his face, Keanu Reeves. I want that one. But then I also want the guy from Lucifer to be in that Keanu Reeves movie as Lucifer.
That's one of the things I was wondering too. Like we talked about it with the Constantine movie. Is this going to just be a sequel to that movie, or are they folding him into the DCEU? With this, like,
I don't see why not. Like, just make your own thing.
It felt like James Gunn got the job, and then at the same time that this movie got greenlit. So it's like,
And like, you know, we had the Batman. The Batman is his own thing, right? And Black Adam is so far outside of, like, all right, new Henry Cavill and Amanda Waller, but the Justice Society is its own whole thing. And I was like, I'm okay with this. And like, Brandon had a bunch of questions about Hawkman, and I was like, I don't give a damn. He's a giant black man with wings and a bunch of money.
Even though they killed him, I kind of want a Dr. Fate Hawkman movie based on what I saw in Black Adam.
I just want a Dr. Fate movie, like just him and the helmet, like.
And that one could be as weird as Multiverse of Madness, because we're talking Dr. Fate.
Do the first volume of a Book of Magic and then have it centered around Dr. Fate. So he has to usher in this small child who's going to be the pillar of magic in the DC universe now. And he introduces them all the magic users in the DC universe and shows them all the realms, and like, this is all could be yours, and you're going to be a part of this world if you choose to be, and that's your choice. And then they get to the end, and he's like, I don't know. And he's like, that's fine. And he just leaves. And then we don't have a continuity thing. People just get mad for no reason. But then, you know, we were like, oh, no, I take it back. I want to be the Harry Potter of this year. Because he has an owl and he's got glasses. He looks just like Harry Potter. As you know, without the whole turf thing to worry about. Now we have a new Harry Potter, guys. Cool. Nice. And, you know, if you want a cool, snarky female sidekick, we can add that. Whatever. Add that.
Warner Brothers needs a new Harry Potter.
She could be Zatanna. It'll be like, I'm Zatanna. And then, I think his name was like Neil or something in that book. It's like, I'm Neil. I'm like, I'm Zatanna. This is my friend Tara. We're a part of the Teen Titans. Like, yeah, let's go.
I did say, I wrote an article on the website years ago, and I said the two female characters I'd like to see live action were She-Hulk and Zatanna. So
yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Hopefully it'll happen before, you know, She-Hulk has like 6 seasons.
So the other thing I was kind of curious though is the 2 months reveal time. Like, I was trying to think, does that tie in with anything, or is it just they're trying to get all their ducks in a row before they announce? Like, are they trying to
2 months from now? Like, so January, the new year?
That's what I'm saying. Like, are the ducks in the row? Are they waiting to see what Q4 money looks like for
Probably.
DC, you know, how much DC Films is going to get to work with?
That makes sense. Or like all the contracts have been finalized over the year, and it's like, all right, now you can't get out of it. And like, all right, well, we got Henry now. Let's start making some Superman crap.
They better they better like let him be a happy Superman.
Yeah.
Not more of this, I'm brooding.
No, the first one we're gonna make is Public Enemies, and it's gonna be Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg again.
Oh God. Well, then
he finally gets what he wants, and he's just like, I'm gonna make the whole world hate Superman. He's a terrorist now, and like he's got to team up with. I was trying to think of like Keanu Reeves as Batman. There it is.
Oh my God, you just ruined everything. Thanks.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves already played Batman.
Eisenberg ruined it.
Wait. When did Keanu Reeves play Batman?
He did the voice for Batman in the Legends of Super Pets.
That's right.
That's the new one, right?
Yep.
I haven't seen it.
No, but he's Constantine.
Oh, it's
so
adorable. Like
you can't. He's Constantine. You can't do that.
Yeah, we got Matt Ryan for Constantine. It's fine. I want the CW to live. Now that James Gunn's in charge, the CW will live.
Man.
Bring everyone from the CW onto this shipwreck that we call the DCEU, and we'll make it great again. Grant Gustin's going to be our Flash and pull this boat ashore.
Oh
yes,
he's the only thing that like at this point, the only actor I know that could actually start to pull this out of a tailspin.
That's fair.
I mean,
I don't know. Katie Lotz played Canary for like 9 years.
No, she could do it too. She's amazing.
Yeah. And then like everyone on the Arrow show can get it. Everyone on that show did a great job, and it ended. I'm okay with that. Because I was getting kind of like, I don't even watch Arrow anymore. I only watch Flash now just because I watched Supergirl and Supergirl ended. And I was like, this was nice. Like, then Dreamer needs to be another movie they're going to make, because that's going to be like, oh man, if the fanboys hated She-Hulk, they're going to hate a Dreamer series. Like, Oh,
I'm not sure. Dreamer. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that character.
So Dreamer is
go ahead.
DC's
Yeah.
first. Is it first really public and popular
Yeah.
transgender character?
Yeah.
Oh,
And she is OP beyond belief. Like
Yeah.
literally, she has powers that can bend reality. And I was like, oh,
Until the future and
until
you
the
know,
future and fly and super strength and all. I'm like, oh, so she can like. There wasn't really much that can
If you
stop
can-
her.
if you can bend reality, why do you need super strength?
Sometimes you just need to punch things.
Oh, okay.
Why? Yeah. Well, like, why does America's Chavez need the ability to have super strength? Just to punch things. It's a prerequisite, really. Enhanced strength.
Like Wanda can change reality, so she doesn't need super strength.
No,
you
she
know?
just lifts cars and stuff. I'm like,
Right.
"Brr." That's the noise she makes when she lifts. Brr. Part of the accent that goes away. Ah, ta, ta, ta.
Yeah, I hope they. I don't know. I can't like. I hate when they do stuff like that. And that's a classic DC move.
No.
Oh, we're working on the plans. We're gonna let you know in 2 months. Like,
That's just somebody who hasn't paid their rent in a while. The check's in the mail. It's definitely coming. Sure.
all right. So
I'm upset at the multiple Batman thing. I don't get that. Have multiple Batman. Whatever.
well, they're trying to, wrangle this thing back
Even-
onto track. And
Even the comic universe doesn't have one Batman. It has multiple. It has the Batman who laughs. It has the Dark Fish or whatever.
But
they
they
have the
haven't-
Red Flash.
yeah,
The
but
Red
they
Death. Yeah.
they haven't really done multiverse stuff yet.
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
my issue
that's
with
how Flash season 9 is ending with Red Flash.
I
So I was like,
yeah, I figured, but
what?
my thing is the multiple Batman thing. It's like, well, we have a Batman family. But
Yeah.
we've only ever gotten Batman. You know.
Where's our child soldier movie?
But I'm saying, like, we haven't gotten Robin, Darkwing, Red Hood, Red
Stephanie
Robin,
Brown, spoiler,
Batgirl.
Batgirl.
Right. Like,
We were supposed to
Cassandra
have Batgirl.
Cain, Batgirl. We didn't get any.
We were supposed to have Batwoman, but that didn't last.
I
No.
mean, she kind of, it happens and whatever. She
you know,
won't
that's
play
gonna
nice.
it's gonna be one of those
Look.
movies that ends up on like DVDs at bootleg DVDs at the Comic-Con.
Hmm.
In a few.
Oh, the
years.
Batgirl movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be super popular in 5 years.
Yep. And
Because I was
everyone's gonna be like,
excited. I was like, Brendan Fraser's gonna play Firefly? That sounds awesome.
Such a weird pick, but yeah, like
No,
I want to
it's-
see that.
He's gonna be creepy and like, "Ugh, I just wanted to be famous and like, oh.
Well, now he's got Whale, so
Yeah, no, he's doing dramatic stuff, whatever.
exactly. So,
Bye-bye.
all right. Well, moving on. Here's an interesting hot take. I thought
Mm,
John Leguizamo, comedian,
yeah.
probably most famous for playing Luigi in the live-action Super Mario Brothers. No, seriously,
Yep.
he's not. But he was asked recently about the new Mario Brothers movie coming out. They do that. They ask actors who've done stuff like this before, and he's like,
Okay.
his take is, "Oh, I feel that they took a step backwards by casting Chris Pratt as Mario, and that
I don't feel
they don't give
that.
enough roles to people of color." And I'm like,
That I'm on board with, but like,
but
but
here's
that
the
whole
problem.
first part, not so
They're-
much.
They're Italian. The Mario Brothers are Italian. Like,
What? I can do an Italian accent. Why don't I get a job?
but I'm saying, like,
Mario.
it's a cartoon.
Let's
So
go.
my
They have
my
the-
whole
they
thing
have
is too.
the
It's a
guy
cartoon.
who does
Does
the
it?
voice for Mario that for the longest time.
Right.
They could have picked him.
I mean, like,
Oh, they picked Chris Pratt because he's hot, and they want to make sure there's a name behind it to draw people into the theater. Like,
Right, which is
that's-
a tactic that's
which
standard.
is, but like is that really the case? Because like Sonic didn't do that. Like nobody knows about Jason Schwartz or whatever. I forget
Yeah,
his-
that's true. I think they missed.
and like Jim Carrey was I guess he was the driving force of that.
yeah, he was the draw.
But like,
But
yeah,
I think they
he's
missed
Jim
the
Carrey.
boat by not bringing Jaleel White back to do the voice of Sonic. Like,
Nah,
he was the
I mean-
voice in the cartoon. Now, everyone who grew up watching the cartoon.
Hey, yeah, no one.
do
Like, so now another white man takes a black man's place. At
Oh God.
So we're just not even gonna give him the chance to do that role. But like, whatever. I'm sure they try. Like, I'm not upset about missing this one. That's fine. Let the kids have their fun with the Mario
I
animated
mean, I can
stuff.
understand if, like, Mario was Spanish or
But he's right. There's
a
like,
person
you
of
know,
color or any of that stuff, and they cast Chris Pratt. But it's like
there's like zero roles for, you know, Black, Indigenous, Latino, Latinx, you know, people to do. Like a lot of times we just have to take redheaded characters roles and just be those, and which is fine. It's fine. There's no more redheads in the universe at all. Like literally, I just saw Super Sons and they replaced Jimmy Olsen with a black guy, and I was like, I'm fine with this. No one cared.
Oh my god, I did not. So wait,
Super Sons was actually pretty good.
I liked Super Sons. It was actually fun to watch.
It worked out good.
we need to. I think we need to start fighting for redheads again. I don't know.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Because you'll make your own thing, whatever. But it's like Mary Jane and then Iris West. And like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. MJ,
Jimmy
Iris,
Olsen.
and now Jimmy Olsen. Oh my god.
And it's like, you know, eventually we're going to get some heroes, not side characters, but it's fine. Whatever. Whatever, fine.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Black Panther.
That's one. Name two more.
Falcon.
Falcon,
Who's
okay.
now going to be Captain America.
That's two.
Hold on. Let me think.
When the X-Men show up, I'll be like, okay, now we got a bunch. We're just like,
I mean, we got Bishop, but he was a side character. Right. But aren't they doing Stewart, Green Lantern?
Yeah, John Stewart.
John Stewart.
But
so-
like that, I even heard that was the reason why the Ryan Reynolds thing kind of flopped. It's because they made this Green Lantern movie after
the cartoon.
2 seasons of Justice League Unlimited, where John Stewart was the Green Lantern, and like Hal Jordan showed up twice in that entire run, and like no one even knew who the fuck that guy was, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, if you didn't read comics, you didn't know, but I knew, and I was like, oh, it's Hal Jordan. He goes insane and becomes Parallax, and he's a bad guy, and he give him the.
And don't forget, Steel in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be hard to forget that.
And Blade. Wait a minute. There you go.
All right, you got 4. Good job. You got 5 total. Now we'll just chalk. We almost have a whole Avengers. Maybe.
Cage.
But like, okay, but I'm so video game characters. Like when we cast God of War, if we make a God of War movie, we're not gonna. Hopefully, we don't go to like Vin Diesel. We go.
Oh God, no.
We go to somebody like big and strong and come here, boy.
There you go.
Boy. Yeah,
You should do Kratos.
Yeah, if they let me like work out for forever, I'll do it.
No, I thought you said cartoon.
Oh yeah, that too.
No, you gotta work out because it deepens your voice.
It does, yeah. It's like I get it. This isn't the one to fight over.
I was about to say,
I'm okay with John being upset about like we're missing out on like roles, and it's like that's fair. But like the Mario role, I don't think it's something we were fighting over.
It was such a weird thing to like make an argument over. Like, and I see all the comments online. People are saying like that same thing. Like, we get what you're saying, but this is a weird pick to be fighting about.
But maybe he's right. Like, maybe what are we like? Someone else was arguing. If you're not making a Marvel or DC movie, what movie are you making and how much money is it going to make back? Like Jennifer Lopez was getting mad at her new movie. It was only going to give her $8 million. And I'm sitting here like, well, I have $47 for ramen this week. And,
So,
but like,
I think the only person who's not making Marvel or DC movies right now that's making money is Jordan Peele.
Yeah, he's making like, and good for him to like only cast black folks in his movie. Good.
So there you go. I mean, I don't know.
No, but he's not the only one. Like Olivia Wilde did "Don't Worry, Darling," and then
That didn't turn out too well, though.
I'm going to name one more person. I'm sure whoever did The Menu, that's coming out this week.
Oh, that one I've heard is really good. And
I want to see
it's
it.
more of a comedy. It's not.
And John Leguizamo's in it, which is weird.
That's why he was okay. So that's why he was being interviewed, by the way.
Right, because he was being interviewed. Because
he was being interviewed for the movie, and then they asked him about Mario Brothers.
Yeah, but it's like, like his special on Netflix, the history of Latin history for morons, is on Netflix, and it's just him explaining things with jokes.
Yeah, I've seen
Is it like
It's-
drunk
and it's-
history or something?
It's more like that meme where like from Always Sunny where he just kind of gets the board and like, this is why white people suck for an hour. And you know, some will feel that way, and I'll laugh. But then, like, but I'll still get the history behind it because you know I can do two things.
Yes, you can laugh at us while
I can do that and learn. If I can learn and laugh,
why not?
that's a great experience.
Yeah,
but like we need more. Like I said, Dreamer needs to be a show. Static Shock needs to be a show. Terry McGinnis doesn't have to be a white guy. He could be you know, Andromedus. I don't know. Because it's the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Terry kind of looks like Terry with an I instead of Terry with a Y.
Oh, speaking of that, the reboot of Hellraiser, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, with the on Hulu.
And it's funny because people were complaining about this, and I wanted to talk. JD's not here,
Mhm.
and I was gonna like talk to them about this at one point because he's a big horror guy. All these people are complaining that they made Pinhead a woman, but it's like
so
the original book, Heart-Shaped Box, I think it's called.
Right.
The character is described as androgynous, like not male or female.
Because it's a demon. Who's
right? Exactly. It's like why? Like
he never like and even in the first Hellraiser, he wasn't that like sexualized. He was just like,
Right.
I have horrors I want to show you, and I was like, that means his penis. Like, okay, sure.
It's because normal men are just so horrible
Right.
that a guy with pins in his head turns out to be a sex symbol. It's like,
But it's one of those things. It's like, you know, you always see that meme just to prove any people will fight about anything on the internet. Here's a rock, and it's like it's a picture of a rock. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a rock. That's igneous. You gotta.
it's a stone. It's
It's
a
a
pebble.
stone. That is
No, that's
yeah,
granite. No,
that's granite from the Cretaceous period. I was like,
Yeah, it's just
that's
more and
normally
more-
no. It's rubellite. They're both the same
at
thing.
some point you just be like, okay, not my pig, not my farm. I just got because at some parts of my brain, I just like I don't have enough energy to fight this. You do you, guy. Because
No, you just grab some popcorn, sit back, and enjoy.
because
the
I didn't
show.
like I enjoyed that Hellraiser movie a little bit better than but it wasn't as funny as the first one. The one I watched, the first Hellraiser movie, I thought that
the
was
Cult
hilarious.
45 review of it is hilarious.
And
It
the
is
last,
the funniest movie.
what is it? The last 4 have been direct to video or something, and 2 of those weren't even originally Hellraiser movies. They were just they stuck Pinhead in movies
I
in
don't
scripts
know.
that just
I mean,
I
makes
saw the
sense.
first one and the one where he went to space, and I was like, okay, whatever.
yeah, they went to space too fast. They should have waited.
I
a
can't
couple
watch
more.
anymore.
Oh,
That was
You
like,
should-
and it wasn't the second one.
No,
okay. Maybe I'll add part 2, or at least the one in the space.
that actually the one in space was like after that it went straight downhill.
Do I have it on?
Like it was actually
Well, it's one
pretty
of
good,
those
the one in
things, right?
space.
Like that's when you know a franchise is done when they go to space.
And then
That is jumping the shark.
Pinhead
lot of
in
horror
space.
films.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got it. It's on the list now. There.
Because you have Leprechaun went to space, Jason X
Jason went to space. They all go to space because they want to get that alien money.
Critters
Freddy
went to
didn't go to space. He went to hell.
No, Freddy
Yeah.
went to hell.
Yeah.
But he
And then
like
drug
there was
Jason down there with him.
Nice.
That
One of
still
your
wasn't
favorite
that,
movies.
that still wasn't that bad. Like it was. I just like I could. How do you like? Oh, Freddy's my favorite. I was like, how? How is he your favorite? Like every one of those characters is just like the worst.
How do you like? That was one of the things. Like when they decided to do that. Like, okay, so they're gonna fight. How do you pick who wins? Like,
You know,
neither one is a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
How did we get from Mario casting and John Leguizamo to Pinhead in space?
We're talking about people complaining about things
Race,
that are stupid.
gender, Hellraiser, things that are
Bacon.
dumb.
Right. Kevin Bacon, right, yeah.
Things that are dumb. But like
But it's like
you flip a
said,
coin,
Randy, it's
right?
like-
You flip a coin.
It's like picking your battles, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to pick crazy battles.
I mean, like, okay, there was also something saying that the first major, like, Latino representation in the Marvel Universe was given to us by a Black director. And I was like, oh, that's, yeah, huh. We should have more of this then. And it's like, they say major, but like Oscar Isaacs, who had a whole series of Moon Knight, guys, Werewolf by Night. That
Yeah.
guy was pretty good. I don't know why you like America Chavez.
I was
That
gonna say, I
last
thought
name
America
wasn't
Chavez
like a
would be the
thing.
first.
And it's like, yeah, I was just like, but no, Namor.
It's Namor.
You got to
But-
say it with the R. Namor. He's Namor. Yeah, like,
I mean, the only argument you can make is like American Chavez
My
is
enemy's
technically an
called
alien.
but
You know, that's the only argument you can make against her. But I don't know.
I don't know. I just, it's Mario. I'm not that lost about Mario. It's fine, whatever.
And you played Luigi in one of the worst video game movies ever made.
It was, I mean,
It's bad. Come on.
it is bad,
It's
but
so
somebody,
bad.
if you watch Cody Johnson's review of the Super Mario Brothers on YouTube, that is really fucking funny because he's really funny. Like Cody Johnson, I like him because he's one of those progressive left like news. He runs a show called Some More News, and then like, that's all he does is like Elon.
Yeah, he's amazing though.
Yeah, he's the funny. Like, well, especially when he's talking about Star Wars, it's like what do you mean we gotta have all these like stormtroopers storm the Capitol?
Like, can you give like the 10-cent explanation of like what's his take on Mario Brothers that made it?
He was explaining how Mario Brothers was a warning against Trump.
My God. Okay.
And like the inevitable future that it held of what happens when a Trump-like figure gets into power and tries to take all of our resources. And he's like,
that is reaching, but okay.
Why is it reaching?
It's reaching.
There's literally a sign, if you look, like Koopa for president, and it's his logo, and it looks exactly like Trump. And I was like, you guys are, did you guys prophesize this? Because that's, but like in the 80s, Trump was the bad guy, like everywhere. The businessman was the bad guy, especially in Captain Planet. Like,
look at Lex Luthor. Went from a scientist to a businessman.
Businessman in the 80s, and Trump was was the architect of all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, as I was trying to tell my friend when this all started back in 2016, I was like, you realize we used him as the model for a bad guy for over a decade, and now we're like, yeah, president. I was like,
basically,
like, why? And he's like, no, I just like, and like he says, what do you want it to mean? I'm like, no, you're just like being a dick.
Before this delves into politics, which I avoid like the plague.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, you don't.
I tried. Koopa.
It's fine.
Let's
back on Twitter.
That is all the news that's fit to print. So let's put a pin in this one, so we can all leave friends.
All right, he stopped being friends with me.
Let's go around the room. Start with Randy. Okay, first off,
that's not true. I don't friend him anymore. I blocked him from Facebook and TikTok. It's fine. Go ahead.
We'll go with let the people know where they could find Colt 45, of course. And what did you learn on the podcast this week, or do you have any recommendations?
Sure. Let's see. I have it written down. Give me a second. All right. I'm Random Randy Savage of Colt 45 Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Colt 45 Podcast. Subscribe to our Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube for that video content. We're on all the major podcasting apps like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play. Pod me in the mouth and the back door. But Podbean is where they love us. But if you want more of us and more in your ear, you can go to patreon.com/Colt45 Podcast. And eventually, if you pay us $3, you might get your movie pick.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets the same experience. Dave will never get his movie picked, but Escape from New York might make the pass. So we'll see. And I would recommend, what did I just watch? I was like, oh, this is really good. I watched Bloodshot. Yeah, Bloodshot. With Vin Diesel. It's not bad. But it ain't great. But it's okay. And I was like, oh, I thought this was like, I thought it was going to be terrible. That's what I was like. I didn't even expect it to be terrible. And I was like, that's kind of cool. It's a dumb action movie. Whatever.
Yeah, no, it was. We watched it. We reviewed it, didn't we?
Yeah, JD fell asleep watching it.
Yeah, it was.
I can see that.
I thought it was okay. I mean,
it wasn't bad. I was like,
right, exactly. It's okay.
There was a character. I feel like there was an animated series that was like this, like Max Micro Machines or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the same abilities, whereas like he could just, if he touched the computer, his micro machines would read all the data out of it and then like absorb, and he could make shields, and like he would get super strong because all the micro machines go to his arms and whatnot. And like, yeah.
You mean nanites?
It was in the 90s, so they didn't have nanites then, but they had micro machines.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
kind of felt like some of it was written towards Diesel's strengths and weaknesses as an actor.
I see that.
And I kind of feel like if they had a stronger actor, it could have been a better movie. So
If what sucks, the other guy they were considering for that movie, and the one that the character is actually based off visually, Jason David Frank.
Ugh.
Oh.
And we've come full circle.
There it is, guys.
All right. Thanks for depressing us. Randy?
That sucks.
Bringing it home.
John?
Let's see. I've learned nothing. Yeah.
How was it going?
Yeah, I don't know. Anime, if you want anime, there's a good one called, and this is the name, and I'm sorry that JD isn't here to marvel at the naming prowess of the Japanese. The title of it is "And You Thought There Is Never a Girl Online," and it's not a shonen. It's not. It's there's no fighting. It's and you thought there was never a girl online.
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
It's actually kind of a nice. The premise is that a guy meets a girl online, and she's really attached to him. The only problem is that she has problems differentiating between life online and life in real life.
Oh,
and it actually you think at the beginning that it's just a normal harem anime, but it tackles some actually really tough things about people that have actual problems with that. Where's the line between what you do online and how it affects your real life and vice versa. So, but it's cute too. So there you go. That's my
That
recommendation.
sounds like the show for you, John.
Yep, hard pass. No thanks.
All right. Well,
I only like action and like things and giant boobs in my animes.
Fatality. The second season of Warrior Nun is out, and I'm not finished with it yet, but it's really, really good.
All right.
That's on Netflix.
We'll recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Comic book reviews by our good friend Chris, links to all our social media at the top of the page, and much more. So make sure you check that out. What did I learn on the podcast this week? That there are some battles that aren't worth fighting. I don't care if Pinhead's a man or a woman. And I will actually recommend that you make sure you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Oh,
because that is what we will be talking about on the podcast next week.
That's a threat, right?
Wow, I didn't know it was already out like that. Okay.
Yeah, it comes out. I think it comes out on Thanksgiving. So, So from all of us here at Speak, I also want to say to our American listeners, make sure you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And on that note, as always, thanks for listening, and don't let your cake get caught in the door. Have a good week.